Hello, you're welcome back. All right, so let's begin. Okay. All right, so we're still on the illusion of forces. Okay, so here we have another system of forces. Okay, now altogether I'm having one, two, three, four, five, six forces acting in different direction. Okay, so now we have to find the question here is find the resultant in direction and of course a magnitude. All right, so now you know exactly what we do. So for us to solve that, we're going to apply the formula. The resultant is going to be the square root of the sum of the horizontal forces all square plus the sum of the vertical forces all square. Okay. All right, so let's take it one after the other. Let's start with the sum of the horizontal forces. Now 30 Newton is positive horizontally. That's going to be 30, then minus 20 Newton. Okay, so I have to resolve these two forces, the 5 Newton and the 10 Newton. Now, if I resolve the 5 Newton, it's going to be positive. So the horizontal component of the 5 Newton, okay, and the horizontal component of the 5 Newton force is going to be of the 10 Newton. Let me start with the 10 Newton. It's going to be 10 cos 30. So that's going to be 10 cos 30. Then minus the horizontal component of the 5 Newton, that is 5 cos 30. All right, so let's simplify it. This is 10 Newton. Okay. Then, of course, plus 10 times cos 30 is 0.87 approximately. Okay. Or let me use 866 minus 5 times 0.866. Okay, so this is going to be 10 plus 8.6. All right, so of course, minus, this should be 4.3. Okay, so let's add up. So 18.6 minus 4.3, 14, 14.3 Newton. So let's do the same for uh, the vertical. So for the vertical component, 14 Newton is acting vertically upward. That's going to be plus. The vertical downward is 20 Newton minus 20 Newton. And if I resolve 5 Newton vertically, it will be positive. That's positive 5 sine. Positive 5 sine 30. Then the same, if I resolve the 10 Newton, it will still be positive. Positive 10 sine 30. Okay, so this is going to be, of course, 20 Newton plus sine 30 is 0.5. 0.5 multiplied by 5, that's 2.5. Okay, then of course 0.5 times 10, that is 5. So everything should be 27, 27.5 Newton. So now we can now put everything together. So putting everything together, we have that the resultant is going to be equal to the square root of the vertical component square, or you can start with the horizontal, 14.3 square, okay, then plus 27.5 square. All right, so pick a calculator. 14.3 square then of course plus 27.5 square, all is equal to 960.74. Okay, so the square root of 960.74. Let's find the square root of that. All right, so invariably, approximately, the resultant is 31 Newton. Now, the direction of the resultant, theta, is gotten by solving the sine inverse of the vertical component, which is 27.5 divided by the horizontal component, which of course is 14.3. Okay, so let's do that. So with what we have now, theta is going to be equal to, let's divide 27.5, then divided by 14.3. That's 1.9. So I have to find the sine inverse of that, and the tan inverse of that, shift tan of that. So 62.5. The angle is 62.5 degrees. So that is really very simple. So there's a lot of questions that we are going to solve under this. Okay, I can still pick more question. Okay, I can look at some examination questions. Okay, all right, so here I have another example, that question that I need to do justice to. Example, so I will read the question. Now the question goes this way: the following forces act at a point. The following forces act at a point. So what are the forces? We have 20 Newton acting at a point, but it is inclined at an angle of 30 degrees north of east. The next force is 25 Newton. Okay, inclined at an angle of, okay, towards the north. It was the north. Okay, the II, okay, I have 30 Newton. 30 Newton, of course, is, so we have 30 Newton inclined at an angle of 45 degrees towards northwest. 45 degrees northwest. Okay, IV, there's still another force. This time around, this is 35 Newton. Okay, so inclined at the angle of 40 degrees. 40 degrees, and that, according to the question, that is southwest. So this is simple. We can actually just draw the diagram of these forces. So first of all, 50 Newton. Okay, first of all, I'm going to draw, okay, horizontal, and of course, so my cardinal point, the 3 cardinal points. Okay, please pardon me, the 4 cardinal points. Okay, now can I let me reduce that. Okay, here we go. That is not south. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so let's begin. 20 Newton incline at an angle of 30 degrees northeast. This is north, of course, this is east. So this is going to be 20 Newton. The angle is 30 degrees. Okay. 25 Newton towards the north. So towards the north is 25 Newton. 30 Newton inclined at 45 degrees northwest. Of course, this is west. So invariably now. Okay. Invariably now, this is what we're looking at. All right, so here we go. So we are told that the angle is 45 degrees, and of course the force is 30 Newton. All right, and the last but not the least, we have .35 Newton, and the angle is 40 degrees. So what are we looking for? Still, we are looking for the resultant. Okay, so this is still going to be simple. Let's start with the horizontal component. Horizontally, no force is acting horizontally, so I can resolve 20 Newton. Horizontally is going to be 20 cos 30. Okay, so resolve this 30 Newton horizontally, that's going to be minus 30, because if I resolve it, it's pointed in this direction, right? Minus 30 cos 45. Okay, resolve this 35 Newton horizontally, that's still going to be minus 35 cos 40. Okay, so let's work on this. Okay, with calculator, of course, cos 30 is 0.866 times 20 Newton. So 17.32 minus this is 0.71 approximately times 30. 0.707 times 30. 21.21 cos 40 then multiply by 35, that's gonna be 26.81. Okay, so let's add up. So 17 okay, so 17.32 minus 21.21, then minus 26.81. That's gonna be minus 30.7 minus 30.7 Newton. Okay, so let's go straight to the sum of the vertical component. Upward, I have 25 Newton. Then, of course, if I resolve 30 Newton upward, that's going to give me plus 30 sine 45. Then, if I resolve the 35 Newton downward, That's going to be minus 35 sine 40. All right, so let's use calculator to work on this. So this is going to be 0.707, that is sine 45, multiplied by 30. So we have 25, of course, plus 21.21. Then minus 40, the sine of 40. Then multiply by 35. 22.50. 22.5. 22.5. All right, so I have to add up 25 plus 21, 25 plus 21.21, then minus 22.50. That is going to be 23.71. 23.71. Okay. Okay, so let me do away with this. So here we are now. The resultant is going to be equal to the square root of course, minus 30.7 square, then plus 23.71 square. Okay, so let's square this first. That is 562, then a plus 30. Of course, if you square minus it will be positive. So all I just need to do is just to square it. 30.7 square. All right, add everything together. So that is 1504.65. The square root of 1504.65. Okay. What does it give? 38.8. So resultant is 38.8 Newton. I hope that is well understood. All right, so there are more questions that we can actually do justice to, but let's look at we are going to be looking at the next subtopic. All right, so in the next video we'll talk about the next subtopic, and of course we're going to be looking at the application of different applications. Okay, in the next video, okay, we are going to look at what we have in next video. Okay, let me look at what we have to discuss in the next video. Okay, in the next video we are supposed to start a new topic, all right, but I might actually solve some more questions on resolution of forces. But if not, okay, we are going to look at a new topic. Okay, so see you in the next video. Thank you very much.